Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will be talking about some of the advanced questions that are being asked in ASP.NET Core interviews. So basically, if we talk about advanced question, it is basically on how you are going to optimize the performance of an application, how you are going to deploy, which deployment technique is better, what are the different deployment techniques that are available through which you can deploy a web application that is created in ASP.NET Core. Then what are the different servers that are available, because ASP.NET Core is again cross platform. So now the number of options through which you can deploy your ASP.NET Core, it is also much. Then we have all those caching techniques, how you cache, then what are the different ways through which you can implement asynchronous so that you can optimize the speed. So these are all the different questions. So we will discuss these questions one by one. So one is like, first thing is like, how, if there is any sensitive data in your web application, how you will manage that it is not being tampered or it is not being accessed by unauthorized user. So the first thing for every web application, make sure that the encrypted, the sensitive data is not exposed. First thing is SSL is very important. So all the request response to the web application, it should be with using HTTPS. So SSL is very important. Then we have ASP.NET Core Data Protection API. So through which, if somebody is able to access that also, that data should be in encrypted form. Then it is not exposed. So sometimes like people are able to gather some information from errors and logs. So sensitive data should not be logged anywhere in errors or any logs. And then the very important thing is roles. So based upon the roles, which information, so this sensitive information is also meant for some uses, but which user, what type of role is provided to that user, that should be managed whenever we are starting our application. So role based access is very important. So HTTPS is very important. Then we have the data. If somebody is able to access that data, then also the second layer will be the encryption form where the data is encrypted. Then .NET Core has its own encryption data protection API. You can use that, and plus role based. Then next thing is how you deploy a ASP.NET application. Now there are number of ways through which you can deploy. You can using app service, that is out of the box in Azure. So app service, you can just connect your web application using any repository, and the moment there is any update in the code in the repository, this app service is triggered and your latest code is deployed. Then we have container based, in which container contains all the environment, all the operating system related, all the application related, version related information in the container. So you can containerize a application using Docker. Once you have a container, now you don't need to worry whether it will work in a different environment on a different platform or not, because again everything is there. And then we have a very similar concept called Kubernetes. Again, in order to scale up, scale down, manage this container, we have this Kubernetes. And again, we have this in Azure also, because again, this was an open source that was being managed by Google earlier, and then now it is open source, so it can be used anywhere in AWS, Azure, or GCP. Then we have container based, then we have self-contained deployments. And again, the first one is very, simple. Plus again, in that case, you have to manage all the infra, you have to set up infra, you have to install .NET. Once .NET is installed, then you have to install IIS server, then you have to set up your code. So that is a manual way and it takes a lot of time, but still that is another an option. Then next question is again continuous integration. So CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment. Again, this is very important. Again, if you want to do it fast, we have Azure DevOps also, in which we create build and release pipes. So first of all, the code is built and then release where this code is to be deployed. So those things we do. Or we have Azure App Service, in which directly all this, again, it's a platform as a service. So whenever you deploy any code using Bitbucket or GitHub, it is again directly integrated with your Azure App Service, and then it is properly deployed. Again, we just need to set up, or just need to mention the platform, and based upon that, all the necessary deployment, code build, it is being done. Then very important thing right now in every programming language is asynchronous, so that the performance of the application is good. So asynchronous implementation is very important. So we have, in every cloud environment, we have this concept called queue. So queue, if you, it is started with Kafka, in which we manage this queue, again asynchronous queue, in which we have different topics, we have different messages, we have publisher, we have subscriber. And the good thing is, we don't need to, again, it should not be asynchronous. Again, publisher, whenever it has any data, it publishes it, and subscriber, whenever it subscribes or whenever it gets freed, it consumes the data. So this way, lot of data, if you just think about Zomato or any other food app application, there is a lot of data that is being generated. Every moment rider information, where is every second it is refreshed. Then if you have, again, there are different topics. If you want to see what type of order, if it is being prepared, so again there is a different topic in which you need to subscribe, and then you will be getting all the details, whether your food is baked or not, whether it is packaged or not. So all these data, you can imagine, like millions of users, so all those things are just managed using this asynchronous technique. And this is using, there are number of different queue management. We have service bus, we have RabbitMQ, we have Kafka. And the good thing about these buses is that they are easily able to manage lot of data, since their storage is not up to the mark, or not as we have in MS SQL, MySQL, but it are able to manage frequent data. So these are all some of the important questions that are asked in ASP.NET Core. We'll be discussing some more questions in our upcoming videos. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for watching this video.